Right on. Thanks everybody for tuning in again. In this video, we're going to dive in one more time to the conspiracy palette reveal with Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star. So let's get right to it. So right at the very beginning of this particular video, just 1 minute in about, Jeffree explains what the industry standard for a reveal is. Usually they do a reveal video and no one has any idea of what the product's going to look like. Unlike this particular marketing approach, which is where you've seen everything from idea to picking of the colors and to the deciding on what the ingredients are to the end product to the palette itself. So the entire series has become a reveal. That's why I mentioned in earlier videos that this literally redefines marketing for a lot of different industries, especially since it's already so successful. You can be sure, you watch, other companies are going to adopt Shane and Jeffree's model for their own launches and their own releases. At about 3 minutes into the video, the production manager actually does a final breakdown for Shane to help him understand and envision the process of what's going to happen with this launch. He makes Shane aware of some very important information. First and foremost, Jeffree and the production manager make Shane aware that this launch is going to be 10 times bigger than anything that Jeffree's ever done before. So that, of course, makes Shane feel extremely neurotic. He's already a worrywart to begin with, and then to feel the pressure of 10 times more, he starts asking questions. So, what if this, what if that? Notice the reaction from the production manager and Jeffree. And this is where the difference between a soft launch and a hard launch comes in. They did a soft launch with merch on the website, unannounced. And the production manager has to remind Shane that, hey, we had over 2 million visitors in this short, tiny piece of time, and we didn't even promote that it was going to happen. We just put the merch up there and it sold out super, super fast. So we know for sure that the interest is strong. And what Shane is forgetting is that these are professionals that have done these types of things many, many times before. So they know how to test the market and kind of get an idea of how many people are going to be, really watching what they do and then really purchasing from them on the hard launch. That's kind of the purpose of a soft launch to begin with, is just to find out where people's interest level really is. What they discovered was it was super high. Now, another really cool part of that particular conversation is that they actually decided to shut down Jeffree's website for a week before the launch, which is it's a really dangerous thing to do because you're stopping all sales altogether. But the purpose of doing that is to prepare them for the huge volume of traffic they're going to get. Remember, when enough people go to the same website without preparation in advance, you can shut the entire website down. It'll freeze up the server. The server will say you're over capacity, you don't have enough bandwidth, you don't have enough CPU usage, and it'll just shut your website down. So they literally have to stop the website for a week and then get it ready for the volume of traffic they anticipate. And of course, with preparing Shopify as well, which brings me to another really amazing comment. They have tripled their distribution by including new distribution partners. And this isn't the same as just being able to go through Morphe or not. We're talking about Jeffree's website now has triple the distribution capacity just from his website. So from his store, he had one distribution chain before, but now he has 3 times that amount by including other partners to help with distribution from his website traffic. So that's completely separate from the Morphe deal altogether. So you'll see later in the videos, of course, also when they're going through the warehouse, you see Jeffree commenting, I wonder if we under-ordered. And of course, Shane is having a heart attack because he's seeing mountains and mountains of merch that he's not sure it's going to actually sell at all. So it's just really comical, the extremes in this particular video. Now, here's a really exciting idea. Imagine knowing for sure that your product is going to sell out. At about 7 minutes and 50 seconds, you see Jeffree mention to Shane that, oh, by the way, we created this video for once it finally is done selling out because we've already almost sold out everything in just 30 minutes. So we're going to put this graphic up and it has this big sold out on the image. And of course, Shane is blown away. He had no idea not only that it was going to sell out, but that you would need a graphic. Yes, you have to actually anticipate those types of things. Now, you could throw one together really quickly last second, but it's especially effective to be able to do it in such a short period of time because that spreads like wildfire. It's going viral. The idea that in 30 minutes, everything was sold out, or in an hour, everything was sold out, and the image is up there, sold out. No way, it can't be sold out yet, and people go and look, and they all just start talking. That's the best kind of free marketing you could ever get, word of mouth. Around 9 minutes and 3 seconds, you hear Jeffree explain to Shane, as they're walking around his facility, that they've already outgrown the new building that Jeffree just bought at the beginning of this series. Can you imagine that as a challenge? You're growing so fast that you can't even keep up with finding buildings that are big enough to house all the product that you have, to not just to sell, but that people have already bought. That's very different. Remember, a warehouse stuck with stuff in it that's not moving is a liability. You're losing money every second. Jeffree's challenge is he doesn't have a building big enough to handle how many things have already been paid for, not even just ordered, but paid for. That's a wonderful challenge. In fact, I think we like to call those champagne challenges. Now, here's a really, really vital aspect to the entire series, and even from the interviews from last year. At around 10 minutes and 50 seconds, you notice that, well, it's pointed out that, oh, I've got my name on paper, tissue paper. I've got my name on the wrapping paper. I've got my name on the box. I've got my name on clothes. His name is everywhere. Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star. Remember something, the most valuable asset you could ever have in a business is your brand, especially with the internet where currency literally is awareness and credibility. Who knows about you and how credible are you to them? That is as good as money because wherever those two go, that's where the money flows to. And so Jeffree and Shane have a lot of both. They have a lot of awareness and a lot of credibility. And so really the most important thing is not the palette or even the bag or the brushes or the lipstick, or it doesn't matter. What's most important is the brand. And remember, I mentioned this in one of the earlier videos too. In fashion, you can't trademark a product. You can't trademark a shirt design. You can't trademark a dress design. You can't trademark makeup colors. But you can trademark the brand, the name of it. That's why you see Louis Vuitton, they put everything, Louis Vuitton, LV, LV, LV. Same thing with Jeffree Star. He's modeling after someone like Louis Vuitton or Gucci or these others who have got it down to a science. You put your brand everywhere the eye goes. Every time a product is opened by a customer, every time they receive it, every time they use it, every time they think about it, they see not just the product they're using, but your brand. Around 14 minutes and 30 seconds in, they're getting ready for the photo shoot, and the photographer makes a very provocative statement. He has presented to them a very big vision of what this photo shoot he would like to build, what he would like it to look like. And he makes the statement that he believes that this is going to be one of the biggest launches in fashion history. And the really wonderful thing about that is it brings Shane's awareness up to speed with exactly what's really happening. What is the reality of this situation? What is the very far-reaching impact of what we're doing here in this conversation and these decisions? You are affecting the entire world of fashion. And this photographer brings that into focus for Shane very well, just by coming in with such a complete and broad theme for their photo shoot. It was really nice of him to say that, but it was even more important for Shane to realize what's occurring. So at about 16:20, we see the round 2 for the main pallet box or packaging design. And now there's a lot of pressure in this moment, because if they can't find something they like, they're going to be stuck with something maybe that was from the first round or maybe from this round that they're kind of like, because they have to get this stuff being manufactured in time. Those timetables, that changes everything. If you move even by a day or two, all of a sudden deliveries and ingredients and pieces being put together in time suddenly change, and then you can't have your launch date at the right time. Or worse, you have the launch date, but people are waiting too long for the product to arrive, and then they start to complain. Remember, if you make people wait too long, then they're going to complain, and that's worse than a bad product. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to launch with a less than high quality product. I'm just saying you could lose both ways if you don't stick to your timetable. You have to be aware that the decision must be made by this point. So when you go into a creative situation like that, you've got to manage expectations better, right? So you've got to do your homework and make sure you have exactly what several ideas that you think will work. And then you've got to be able to communicate that to the people that you're working with. In fact, Shane and Andrew did a really great job of taking the box sketch or the box piece that Anna built. She sent a picture to them. They took that into Photoshop and then fleshed it out even more. So that's a wonderful collaboration. That's such a powerful way to find out how to work together with people. And that's exactly what folks like Anna are looking for. They're looking for creative people who can actually speak the same language and help make it their job easier, because she's under a lot of pressure too. So it's not just Shane, the whole team has to meet this deadline. And that's why it was so exciting that when they picked that one, they were all so happy about it. They got what they were looking for. They got the wow factor. And that's exactly what you want. And it did look really super cool. That was an amazing packaging. And so that'll be something else that the market will follow in the future too. You'll notice that other manufacturers start to steal those kinds of ideas for their packaging as well. Keep an eye out. So Jeffree, on the day of the photo shoot, has to let Shane know that something really terrible has happened. And it's around 22 minutes into the video. He's actually, his dog, or one of the older dogs, is actually in the hospital and being treated and is not doing well. And it's really a shame, because unless you've been a pet owner, you don't really understand what that does to you. One of the things that's important about pets is they kind of help you keep you grounded as a human being. They're such innocent souls, and they're so close to you. It just is really devastating. I actually lost a pet once that I had worked really hard on training, and she was hit by a car when she was still very young, and it just devastated me. So for Jeffree to have this much longer relationship with this close friend, this pet who means so much to him, and then to be in the face of something so positive, but to have this poor animal in the hospital at the same time, and feeling the pressure of, we have to do this photo shoot. There's too much on the line. I've lined so many things up to work around this. How am I going to do this? I mean, really what it comes down to is kudos to Jeffree for keeping his head together, and for being such a professional and being the penultimate entertainer. Because really that's what he had to do. He had to pretend to be happy. I mean, he was happy, and he's happy for Shane, and he's excited for the project, but the fact of the matter is his heart is being ripped out because he's so scared for his pet that he loves so dearly. And that's the other thing about pets people forget. They just love you back unconditionally. They just consider you the world. You're their universe. You are everything, especially to dogs and cats, that you just become so attached to them. And so, you know, our condolences to Jeffree, especially because it's always hard to lose any kind of friend, but a pet, especially when they're so close. We would just like to send out good energy to you, that you're able to heal from that and hopefully move on and feel happy about the success that you have in your life. So keep that in mind. When you're in the middle of a big business deal, like something like what they're doing in this particular project, life still happens. And so you have to learn how to handle those situations. And Jeffree, in this particular situation, provides the perfect professional model. So coming from the idea that, Jeffree has his animals that are sick, it's just a beautiful statement that he makes at about 27 minutes. And I think it's something that everybody listening to this video, in fact, anybody who ever, anywhere, should consider really adopting this idea. And that is to celebrate every moment. Because it isn't just about becoming successful or becoming rich or becoming this. The idea is the whole process. That's one of the things about the difference between people like Jeffree who are already super successful and yourself. It's just time and the size of his dream. Because he's walked that path and because he's gone through all of those different steps one at a time and learned each hard lesson, he's way more confident than you are right now just watching this video. He's walked the path. See, he's showing you now in these videos what the path is. And most people won't even bother watching or recognize all of the different lessons that are in these videos that I'm sharing with you even. They won't, even if you watch this video, most folks won't even take this information and do anything with it. They'll think, oh, that's really cool. Oh, yeah, well, that was kind of obvious. Or I knew that. And they won't do anything. That's it. That's all of the difference between successful people and whoever you are right now watching this. Unless, of course, you have your own success already and you know that what I'm saying is true. So make sure you take action on this information. Jeffree and Shane are being kind enough and generous enough to share it with you. Use that. Take that and do something with it. Around 28 minutes and 50 seconds, we recognize that Jeffree has gone to extreme lengths this time to make sure that there's no robbery. He's receiving deliveries already, but they're unlabeled and then they hide them. So even employees of the company don't know what it is or where it's being put or where it's being stored. So he's being very careful this time. But the cool thing actually that happens right around that same time is that Shane and Jeffree meet in the production manufacturing plant's meeting room, which is where not only Shane and Jeffree met the first time last year when Shane interviewed him, but Jeffree explains that this is where I did my first pitch. This was where I brought in my idea for the first time ever to this manufacturer, and they said yes. Now here's the amazing thing about that statement. Most people will hear that and think, oh, that's kind of cool. Isn't that cool? That's where he did his first pitch. They have no idea what that means. That means he did not have the huge success yet. He was still unsure. He was still in debt too. If you remember the interviews from last year, he had a mountain of debt and he wasn't sure what he was going to do with himself. YouTube was paying, but it wasn't paying enough. He had other projects that failed. Music didn't work. People were, lying about him and slandering him. And so he came up with this idea and took a chance. So he had to design it. He had to think about it. He had to design it. And then he had to find somebody who would actually buy in and invest with him, right? Because he didn't have the money. He just had the credibility and the awareness. People were watching him as a YouTube celebrity. So he went to them and said, I know how to monetize this. I love makeup. I love doing it. I'm really good at it. And I have a big audience. Will you work with me? That's a sales pitch. That's exactly what it is. It's a sales pitch. So Jeffree isn't just a creative force. He's not only just a YouTube celebrity. The guy's an amazing salesman. He convinced that manufacturer not only to do the deal with him, but to give him good percentages that made him money so that he could grow. That is a great salesman, a great business person. And in that one statement, you got to see the room where Jeffree really shined. When he closed that first deal, it changed his life forever. And then he stayed the course and made it happen again and again and again and again, despite all of the slander, despite all of the thievery, despite all of the break-ins, despite all of the challenges. He kept going. Was his life easier? No, he had more responsibility than ever and more challenges than ever, yet he kept going. Did it help that he was making more and more money each time? Yes, but also with more money, as you can see on Shane's face, the pressure increases. You start to have to take other things into consideration. Other people depend on you, employees, their families. That's a lot of pressure. So in that one single statement, a really magic moment was revisited. And it's so amazing to know that that's how it was done, because now you know exactly what to do for your idea. When they go through the warehouse and they're showing Shane all of his inventory at about 38 minutes, 38:20, I think it's something like that, you can see Shane's face. Now, of course, it's funny because he's so dramatic, right? Shane is just so dramatic. Oh my God, what if this doesn't sell? What are we doing? And Jeffree's going, I don't think we ordered enough. I love that dichotomy right there. But the really beautiful thing about that moment is Shane gets to experience an idea manifesting into reality. That's it right there. The idea has turned into mountains of products and mountains of boxes and shelves and rows and big, huge buildings full of his ideas. And that is an incredibly powerful lesson. Watch that part over and over and over again and realize that all of that was just a thought first. At 43 minutes, we see Jeffree, being the professional that he is, laying down for Shane exactly what's going to happen in terms of marketing for the website. Remember, Morphe's taking care of their own stuff, but they're all working together. And Shane, of course, is doing his promotion with the series. And now Jeffree is going to lay out all of the social media and all of the marketing that's going to be done for Jeffree's website. It's really wonderful because Shane gets to watch his mentor work, right? And learn from the mentor. Here's what we do. And this is what works the best. And here's how we're going to do it. What an amazing lesson. Now, it's too bad that you can't hear exactly the timings and how things were planned out and what they did and why, because that's really where the magic happens. But it's nice to see that there it is, Jeffree doing exactly what you need to do the best way possible. At about 44 minutes and 17 seconds, you see Jeffree watching Shane get makeup for the photo shoot. And Jeffree comments on how confident Shane appears this time. He's not scared. He's not nervous. He feels very confident and very comfortable not only getting the makeup on because he's been practicing for a year, but also about the entire situation now. He's starting to relax and he's starting to have fun with it. And that's where Jeffree wants his client to be. That's where he wants his friend to be, is happy and having fun and doing what he loves. It's such a beautiful moment. At about 52 minutes, you can see Shane actually starting to take pride in his accomplishment, pride in how far they've come, that he actually had come up with an idea to interview Jeffree that turned into working with Jeffree, and Jeffree taking him on as a client and working with him as a friend and a mentor and helping him develop his own brand properly for the first time ever in his career. It's just wonderful to see the difference. And I talked about that just a minute ago, about the idea that the only difference between you and someone like Shane, who's super successful, is just time and the size of their dream. He has the confidence now that he can make these types of things happen again. So that's the beautiful thing about experience. Once you do something, no one, especially something successful, no one can ever take that memory from you. When you become super rich, which I believe you will, and I have faith in you, they can tax you, someone can rob from you, they can come and write a law that says we're going to take everything you have. And you know what? Within 5 years, you'd have it all back again because you've already done it once before. So you know exactly what it feels like and you have the confidence to make it happen again. So they can take and take and take, but the fact of the matter is you'll be able to make it again because you've done it. And that's what Shane is starting to realize. Once you've done it, no one can ever take that from you. Of all of the parts of these videos in this entire series, I think this one at about 54 minutes is one of my favorites and probably one of the most important. In fact, I speak about it throughout all of our videos reviewing Shane's series. The friendship that Shane and Jeffree develop is really the catalyst for everything that's occurring. But then at 54 minutes in this particular video, Shane shares all of these new products with his close friends. That's what life is all about, is to be able to do things and then share it with friends or share it with a partner or share it with a wife or husband or share it with family. The whole point of this experience of life is to be able to share it in the first place, to be able to feel good and show others how to feel good, to be successful and show others how to be successful. It doesn't mean you have to teach them. Just by being successful and being happy and being healthy, you provide a model for the rest of the world to follow. That's what people do. They look at people who are successful, happy, and wealthy, and they have great relationships, and they go, that's what I want. I'm going to do that. You don't even have to be a teacher. Just be a good model and then share it with the people that you love. 1 hour into this video, we see the culmination of Shane's entire career. Everything he's ever done on YouTube, every event he's ever attended, every interview he's ever been part of, everything he's ever done combined down into these products. He put his entire career, his entire heart, his entire story, his entire experience in life into these products. And that's why they're so valuable to all of his fans, to all of the people that love him, to all of the people that are close to him. There's been lots of products that have had black swirls on them. There's been lots of products with all of those different colors on them. There's been lots of bags that were shaped like a pig. There's been lots of lipsticks, and there's been thousands of different clear glosses. My God, everybody and their brother has a clear gloss. But nobody else has Shane's story. Nobody else has that. And now those products are the culmination of everything he's ever done. So that's it for this particular video. I understand that Shane has one more that he's going to be releasing on this series to explain kind of the breakdown of what occurred with the launch. And I'm very excited to actually see that. It's even more exciting that they're willing to share those numbers with us. I'm sure they're astronomical and, as predicted, probably have changed the industry forever. So congratulations to Shane and Jeffree. It was a real pleasure being able to watch this journey with you guys. And for everybody else out there watching this particular video, if you have questions about money or how money works, make sure you take a look at the link down below in the description for our course called The Richest You Mastering Money. It will help you get a hold of all kinds of different elements about money. It will help you understand how money works and get your own life in order and start to be more abundant almost immediately. And so I'd be very excited to hear what you thought of this particular video. So give us a thumbs up and comment below. But also make sure you subscribe to our channel. We would really love for that, to be able to share our future videos with you as well. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you again real soon.